Hey there. Okay, let's see if I move it all. All right. Hey everybody. Sorry for the problems, but uh, we let me do this. Dario, I'm putting you on mute. All right, guys. Let's get started. I am. Where you at? There I am. I'm Chef Mick. This is Cooking for the Boys Live, and today is Christmas table. Let me get my jacket on, guys. I'm so sorry. This is a temperamental computer, and what is it called? Oh, well, it's an Apple. It's a Mac, whatever it's called, and sometimes it just doesn't want to show me my camera, but it did. Today is Christmas table day, guys. Today we're cooking our Christmas dinner, and it's going to be fantastic. We're going to start with a Cornish game hen. Now, the Cornish game hen is an actual chicken, but it just because it says hen, it doesn't mean it's a girl. I misbuttoned my coat, so I'm talking to you while I'm buttoning my coat. I misbuttoned it, so I got to start over. Okay, so anyway, Cornish game hen. Uh, it takes an hour, less than an hour. We're going to do it 425 degrees on our oven. It takes about an hour, so I've already got 2 in the oven, but I'm going to show you with the one I left out here. I'm going to show you how I prepared it. I'll throw the last one into the oven. The first 2 will be ready while I'm done with everything else. What do we need, guys? We need a hat. We always need a hat. Let's keep that hair, and I got much longer hair now. Let's keep it out of our food. All right, Christmas tradition. Here is my Santa cowboy hat. There you go. All right, guys, let me show you what I got going on here. I'm going to move you to my area over here so you can see how I prepped the Cornish game hen. There you go. Let's move this over. Camera is not cooperating again. All right, here we go. This, my friends, is a Cornish. It says rock Cornish, so it's a Cornish game hen. Game hen, this says without neck and giblets. So, sorry about that. What we want to do, like we did with the turkey, we want to pop this thing open. Okay? And we want to pull it out. Look at that. You see the little bird? You see it? See how small it is? Look, one hand. You see? But, just like we did with the turkey, you see all that blood and stuff on the inside? We want to rinse it out a little bit. So let's rinse it out. Inside, there is nothing. You can check in here. It said no neck or giblets. So there's nothing in here, and there's nothing on this side. But we wanted to rinse it out, and we also want to pat it dry a little bit. Let me get a paper towel. I'll be right with you guys. Okay, and now let's pat it very, very dry. Okay, now we patted it very dry. I know I lost my son in my ear, Dario, who's helping me today. Okay, so here we are. I lost him, so he needs to come back to me, but I don't know how he's going to do it. Here we are. All right, guys. If you look at any of my videos, you'll see that I made the garlic and rosemary infused olive oil. That's what I'm using today. We're going to just give this puppy, and look at this. Let's pretend it's at a spa. Oh, there you go. Let's pretend it's at a spa, and you feel so much better, don't you, little chicken. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, so our spa chicken, got to wash it off a little bit. Our spa chicken is done. So now, I know what you're saying, okay? You're saying, Rick, did all you do is put oil on it? No, that's not all I did. I'm going to tell you what else I did. Okay? I took a baggie like this. And in this baggie, I put peppercorn. Whole black peppercorns. Okay? And I did it like this in the baggie. Then, with the peppercorns, I threw a bunch of salt. You see my salt crock? There you go, my salt crock. Okay? So I put a bunch of salt. And then I sealed it up. Sealed it up nice and tight. Let's get all the air out of there. Now, then I had to find something to squish all these with. I went through a lot of stuff. Look, this is my ice cream scoop. So let me show you my my work here. Here's my table. Here's my work area. So I was with my ice cream scoop. It didn't work very well. So I went to the one thing that I thought would, a hammer. Okay? Don't be afraid. This is nice and thick. It's one of the freezer baggies. And now listen to the noise. I understand. We don't like the noise. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, I know. That was a lot of noise. Okay, and then what did we do? What did we do with all this? Well, we took it and we put it into a bowl, which is right here. Silly me. Okay, we put it into a bowl. We didn't have to put it into a bowl, but we did. And then, I'm fixing my oven again. And then we took our nicely spod and oiled chicken and just ran it in there. I did it with the first two, guys, so I'm doing it again right here. Okay. In fact, let me turn you face my chicken area. Let's do it this way. This guy doesn't want to cooperate right now, so let's do it this way. It's okay to put some in there. Okay. We needed to crush it up a little bit more. It's not as crushed as we want it, and certainly not as crushed as the other ones were, but it's still there, and it still works. And then we're going to put it into a oven-safe dish. Oven-safe dish, olive oil, salt, and pepper, and it goes in the oven. We have it at 425, and his friends have been in there for 45 minutes. I have them covered with foil. Now I am uncovering them so they can finish cooking, and he'll be in there by himself for a lot longer than that. Let me see, what time is it right now? 4:50. Wow, that was a late start on my part. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. Here we go. All right, so what are we going to do with this? Okay, we got Cornish game hen, which is wonderful. But we want to do other things with it. So what we have over here is water. Simple, salted water. We're going to make wild rice. Now, if you buy plain wild rice, it's a bunch of, and let me open this up for you. Plain wild rice you're going to find is just a long black rice. A long black grain of rice. Wild rice is on the expensive side, and if you don't feel like spending that much but still using it, then this is the best thing to do, is get a blend. A wild rice blend. This one happens to be wild rice with brown and white rice. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. Here we go. So, this, my friends, this black rice right here is the wild rice. This one's blended with white and brown rice also. We're going to make a blend. We're going to put it in. All you do is put it in the water. We have salted water over here. You put it in the salted water and you boil the rice. That's all we're going to do here. Okay? Now, you can also drop, there we go, you can also drop a spoonful or two of butter into the water. A couple of spoonfuls of butter, and let's drop that into the water, and that's all we're going to do with the rice. Okay, it's going to boil in a few minutes. It'll absorb the water, then it'll be ready, and we'll have some wild rice to go with our Cornish game hen. All right, well, that was easy. Wow, are we done? No, we're not done. We're just getting started, guys. Okay, so what's next? Well, actually, you know what? Here, let me show you something. This is the green onion that I cut up. I'm going to throw some in the wild rice so it can cook and get the flavor infused into there. And then, very nice. The rest of it I'm going to save till after the rice is done. But I threw in some green onion into the wild rice so it can all cook together. Now let's move on. All right, the next dish we're going to start on are mushrooms. These are baby bellas, very nice. We're not even going to cut them. In fact, I've told you this before. I don't mind having the stems. Some people don't like the stems. So if you feel like removing stems, then remove stems. That's fine. I don't care one way or the other. Okay? I don't care one way or the other. So you can have them with stems or without stems. It doesn't matter. All we're going to do with these things is saute them. But because I don't care about the stems, I'm going to put the stems in there also. We're going to saute them. So what do we need to saute them? Well, we need our pan. Can you see my pan over here? There we go. We need our pan. This is our pan. Then, let's turn this up a little bit. Then we need oil. Well, guess what we're going to use, guys? Guess what we're going to use? We're going to use our garlic and rosemary infused oil like we used on the bird. We're going to use it here. So, let's drop some oil in here. Now, we don't wash these. If they're dirty, you rub them dry with a little towel. You can see how if you get them on your fingers, look, my fingers are trying to be clean there. But you can see there's plenty of dirt on them, okay? If you want to rub them dry, that's fine. Don't put them in water. They absorb the water and they're not going to help our cause at all. So, we're going to slowly saute them though. We don't need to put them in there and burn them and cook them right away. That's not what we're here for. So, even while it's still heating up, we're going to put them in there already. I know, sounds like I'm breaking stuff. Don't forget to throw a little bit of salt on there. Salt does bring out the moisture, so any moisture these things have, we're already going to bring it out with salt. We need we're going to use a spatula. Let's get them all covered, all of them covered and sauteed in this oil. This beautiful smelling rosemary and garlic olive oil. Now, okay. And yes, you can hear them cooking already. We're going to turn it down because we don't want it too hot. Okay, we're going to let it cook and let it absorb for a little while. So we're going to move on to something else. And I really wanted to do my mushrooms in this pan. Okay, so you see my pan here? I need the mushrooms in here. So I'm going to switch them over. Stand by, please. And you're going to say, whoa, what's going on? Well, first of all, I put them in the wrong pan. A little bit because of my, because of the way we started our show, I lost a little bit track of what I wanted to do. So you know that needs more oil, right? Yes, you do. You know that needs more oil here. But not too much more. This also needs oil. But we're using the same oil, so it doesn't matter. We're also using salt in it, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I've already started using it. Okay, so we have oil, and we have this going here, going nicely. Now, what are we going to do with this? Well, this is for the Brussels sprouts, which we're also going to saute. So, if you remember, this is a Brussels sprout. Okay, it looks like a baby cabbage. Basically what it is. I always cut off the bottom part. You probably don't have to. These are kind of small anyway. But I always do. And then, even though these are small, I like to cut them in half. Okay, so we have our rice already boiling a little bit more than we want it to. We need it to boil, but we also need it to absorb the water and cook, not just boil. So we're turning down the rice, and I'm going to let the rice sit there for a while and absorb that. The mushrooms, my friends, the mushrooms are coming along great. Let me show them to you. Look how shiny they are. That means they're all coated nicely with the oil. They're absorbing that oil, but we're far from done with those mushrooms. Okay, so we've turned down the rice, the mushrooms are going, and we've turned this on so we heat up the oil that we just threw in here. This is for Brussels sprouts. I have a bunch of them right here. So we're going to put the Brussels sprouts right here, and we're going to push them around a little bit. We're going to push them around a little bit. Remember, do not forget a little bit of salt. A little bit of salt. Little bit of pepper. Nothing wrong with salt and pepper on our Brussels sprouts. I need to turn on the fan a little bit. I'll put it on medium for right now. Okay, so our Brussels sprouts are getting nice and sauteed. It's a little hot. You know, not everything has to be done on high heat. I've said this 100 times. I'll continue to say it. We need to turn down and actually move this stuff down to a lower heat to allow us to actually cook it without worry. But the Brussels sprouts need to get coated. And they need to start browning a little bit here. Okay. In fact, I'm not afraid to put more oil into my Brussels sprouts. Now, why am I doing this? Because this isn't the only thing I'm cooking here. Okay? Brussels sprouts, and you can hear how the oil is reacting there, heating up. Oh, it smells so good. Brussels sprouts, while they're very good by themselves, the way they are right here, I myself, gotta check on these things, don't want these to burn. I myself like to add some color. And I'm gonna add color by using a sweet potato. Remember how I told you to cut this, to peel this sweet potato? Get that out of my way. Get out of the way. Get rid of these things here. One more right there. Okay, we peeled it. Let's cut this in half. Oh, you see that little piece right there? It's gone. And let's cut this into threes, into thirds. And let's not cut them too big, like that. And we'll fill it up, and that's what it looks like, guys. That's what we did with our sweet potato. We'll do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. And that's how we diced up our sweet potato, which are going to go in here. Now, they don't take us long to cook as Brussels sprouts, but it's okay to leave them in there, you know, as long as you need to. Don't worry about it. Okay? What you do need to worry about is make sure that it all gets some oil on it. We want to cook it up. We want to make sure it gets some good oil on it. Wow. Okay. Now that's going well. I'm going to do a little flying camera trick. Dun, 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 dun. The Brussels sprouts with the sweet potatoes. They're cooking. They're going well. We're going to cover them up. Cover it up. Let them saute a little bit like that. Wild rice. Cooking in here. You see it? You see it? Absorbing. Absorbing. It's not ready yet, but it's real close to being ready. And these are our mushrooms that we're sauteing. But we're not done with the mushrooms. Even though they look like that, that's not how they're going to stay. In fact, we're about to do something else. I'm going to put my flying camera back to where it belongs. Right here. Okay, so this, my friends, is a petite Syrah. Okay? My wife happens to love the petite Syrah, and that's what we're going to saute our mushrooms in. It is a red wine sauteed mushroom. This is a Cornish 2007 petite Syrah, and hot. Now, we've already turned down the heat, but we're going to turn it down a little bit more. Okay? We don't want this stuff, first of all, we want the mushrooms to sit in enough of it to absorb the taste and the flavor. Okay? We don't want, what we don't want, and look, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you right there. You see them? It's going to sit in there. It's going to sit in there on a low heat for a little while we do some other stuff. And it's going to absorb it all right there, just like that. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, here, of course, our sweet potatoes and our Brussels sprouts. Now, okay, you can see the steam building and coming off. But if you're worried about it, go ahead and throw a little bit of water in there so that it gives it something to build more steam on and to actually soften those Brussels sprouts a little quicker. So don't be afraid to throw a little bit of water in there. Okay, there you go. All right, so what do we have, guys? We have Cornish game ham, looking great in the oven. Okay, in fact, I'm gonna have to pull it out real soon before I burn it. We have wild rice, right here, being made. It's still a little al dente, a little bit to the tooth, a little bite to it, a little crunch to it, and so we're not ready for that. So, okay, now you're going to say, what are you going to do, sing and dance while all this is cooking? No. Now we're going to turn our attention to the other part of dinner, the dessert. This will be where I work on dessert as soon as I straighten out your camera for you. Aha. This is my dessert station. Alright, so what are we making for dessert, guys? Well, we're making individual birds for people, and as you can tell, I'm cooking for 2 people. Then we're going to make individual desserts also. So, it's a dessert we've already made. Okay, we're back with the cream cheese, dessert, but we're going to make them in the individual pie pans. You see how small and cute they are? Alright, so we've got individual pie pans. We pull them out, we're going to put them right here. So we can fill them in a second. Well, it's going to take longer than a second. So, do y'all remember how to do this? Well, if not, you're about to get a refresher course real quick. First of all, cream cheese. Now, this cream cheese has been sitting out because the last time I did it, I didn't let the cream cheese sit out long enough, and I had big chunks of cream cheese while I was trying to eat my dessert. So this sat out for a lot longer so that the cream cheese is actually smoother and easier to deal with. Okay? So, cream cheese in there. This is just a simple 8-ounce packet of cream cheese, and that's all you need. In fact, it may be too much. But is there really too much? Is there really too much cream cheese, guys? I don't think so. Okay, let's get the cream cheese going. Now, remember, we're supposed to add like a cup of sugar, but because I use marshmallow cream, I cut down on the sugar. Okay? So let's throw some sugar in here. One of these, maybe 2 of those. This is like the same amount I use in my tea. 2 of these is not a cup. Okay? So I did less than a cup of sugar. but this is a 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream, and I promise you I'm going to use every ounce of that. As soon as I get something to do, oh, here it is. I wondered where I did my spatula. Nice spatula. Okay. Oh, that's nice and creamy in there now. I need to cut this open. Stand by here. Here we go. All right. Marshmallow cream. Let's turn this down to this. And let's throw a whole lot of marshmallow cream in there. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, where's that flying camera now? Well, guess what? It's about to come your way. Okay? I'm going to do the flying camera right about now. Hold on. Let me lower this. Let me put my marshmallow cream here. Let me get this off of there. And then you move this around a little bit so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, flying camera, come with me. Look at that. Look at that, okay? This, you can see cream cheese, marshmallow cream, and sugar. Very sweet, but it's also very smooth and creamy. Now, am I done with it? No, I need to run it through a couple more times to make sure all the marshmallow cream and the cream cheese, well, let's make sure they get together, okay? Now, if you remember correctly, okay, if I remember correctly, if you guys remember, the last time I did this was for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to throw in a little extra surprise for it, so I threw in some marshmallows. Well, if you're using this and you're even throwing in the small marshmallows that you use on hot chocolate, the marshmallow might be too much and you may not get enough of the filling in there. So we found something else. We found mallow bits. Mallow bits, okay? Now, this one happened to be peppermint flavored to go along with the Christmas theme. So I got the peppermint flavored mallow bits, which are basically bits of marshmallow. So let me show you how small these things are. Look at this. Look how small those are. Okay? So let's throw in a little bit in there and do it. Live television, guys. You can't beat it. I left my spoon in there and I almost burned out my whole thing here. All right. Come on. Burning out the engine on my mixer. That would not be a good thing. So, mallow bits. Peppermint mallow bits. We're going to use them again in a minute. So, here we go. Very simple. We're going to go back to our main course here in a couple of minutes. But here we go, guys. I should have just left that here. Take one of these, fill it with this, fill it, fill it, fill it. Put it in the refrigerator, let it firm up in the refrigerator. That's, oops, I'm about to lose my, sorry, I'm losing my earpiece, that's all. This is a quick dessert for 2 people. Look at this. Well, individual dessert, if you're going to have an individual chicken, you must have an individual dessert. What? All right. Hold on. My earphone is messing with me. And now it turned on my, seriously? It's a good song, but it's not supposed to be playing while I'm here. Okay. Wow, what a mess. Alright, so we have 3 desserts made. Let's get back to our regular food. I can't believe that my phone really messed me up in the middle of my show here. Let's get back to our food, guys. Okay, somebody's calling me. Okay, so we're back to our regular food, guys. And I think I was my son on the phone. And I'm about to put him on mute so he can still be listening without getting lost. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. Oh, remember we put water in there, build up steam, and help soften everything? It worked. Okay, remember we put wine in here. Okay, we're sauteing this with a little olive oil and then some wine, red wine. That is going to be beautiful. That looks great. And of course, we cannot forget that we have wild rice over here. Now you're saying, okay, it looks like, oh yeah, the wild rice is ready. So basically, guys, let's turn over here while I finish my desserts. Basically, everything's ready. I'm going to pull out the game hen from the oven right now, which has been in there for over an hour now. And I'm finishing up the dessert here. Hold on. And then I'm going to plate it for you, and that's going to be our show. So before I plate it, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to plate it. You're going to see how wonderful all this looks. You're going to be amazed at everything I've done. You're going to be amazed at everything that you're going to be able to do, and the dinner party that you're going to be able to plan and put together and host, and frankly, just impress the hell out of everybody. So, let's finish this one up. The desserts go where? They go in the refrigerator. Actually, I'm going to put these in the freezer for a few minutes to really firm them up, because my wife will be home shortly, and I want to make sure that, if nothing else, that I have some desserts ready for her. And look at this, guys. So what have we made today? We made Cornish game ham, which is fantastically good. We made a dessert, which are going to be fantastically good. We've made 3 sides. Wild rice with green onion, Brussels sprouts, and sweet potatoes, and red wine sauteed mushrooms. But now, my friends, okay, well, I may have changed it up from what it should have been. I do have some Cool Whip. I have some Cool Whip in the freezer that I'll add to the dessert in a minute. But it's too late to mix it in. And but the dessert's good the way it is, believe me. So give me a chance here and turn this stuff off and turn this off. Now we're going to plate everything, and you're going to see how wonderful everything looks. Whoops! Before we plate it, we've got to pull out our hands. Let's pull our hands out of the oven, my friends. Wow. Remember, I've got a third one in here cooking, so my oven's going to stay on. Oh, look at this. I'm going to do the flying camera so you can see it. Bum, bum. The flying camera is caught in the sink. This are the 2 Cornish game hens I had from earlier. I covered them with foil for like the first 45 minutes, and then I uncovered them so they could brown really well. You can see, if you needed to make some kind of gravy, you have plenty of liquid to do it with. I'm not going to do that, but if that's what you want, I'm not going to argue with you either. So, let's get a plate. I think deserves this plate. Let us get 1 Cornish game hen out. 1 of them. Okay. Now it touched the side, and so it's sort of like stuck on the side here. So that's why it looks the way it does. But, and there's a little bit of, oh, fantastic. Okay? So look at that fantastic bird we have. Let's put some rice next to that fantastic bird. Let's put some rice. Wild rice, it's a wild rice mix with green onion, made of course with butter also. Now, I did not throw any salt and pepper on that rice. I did salt the water, but there's no pepper in there, so if you wanted to add that, that's fine. Now look at that plate. Look at that plate. Beautiful. See? But now we're going to add Brussels sprouts, and let's throw some color in here. A little bit of color on this side, the Brussels sprouts and the sweet potatoes. And just because we can, and because it's available, and because we made it, if you want, I'm going to do it without too much red wine on it. The sauteed mushrooms. Sauteed mushrooms. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a beautiful Christmas table right there. Okay, I'm going to put it down. Let's see if we can't aim the camera a little better. Okay. Brussels sprouts with sweet potato. Our Cornish game hen. This happens to be a black pepper and salt Cornish game hen. Our wild rice with green onion that you saw me put in there. Now, you have some green onion left over. Remember, we have some green onion left over, so fresh green onion, just like a little bit right there on top of that is fine. Make it look really pretty. And of course, the red wine, olive oil sauteed mushrooms. I left the stems on. You're welcome to take the stems off. That is an incredible dish. This is our last show of the year. It's our Christmas show. It's our last show of the year. You can see my little Christmas hat. I'm Chef Mick. Thank you to my son Dario in Corpus. Actually, Dario works at a place called the Tango Tea Room in Corpus. He's the only one of us actually getting paid to cook. Does a fantastic job over there. So anybody going to Corpus or heading to Corpus, the Tango Tea Room is a place to eat. I promise you. I know how well he cooks, and I know how well the food is there. I've been there several times. I'd like to say happy holidays to those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, but do celebrate other holidays like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas to all of you that do celebrate Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. Pursue your passions, guys. Just like I'm doing here. I may not get paid any money. I may not make any money because I don't. But I get to talk to you guys. I get to cook, and I'm having a great time doing it. I am Chef Mick. This is Cooking for the Boys Live. If you know how to cook, you can marry for looks. Happy New Year, guys. Merry Christmas. We love you guys. We'll see you in January. Thank you. Bye.